Welcome to the artwork of CP, everyone. We're actually putting this on both feeds. Um, for those of you who are the sending good vibes type, first of all, let's just put it out there. No people were injured, and first of all, I'm fine. Number one, but I'm not fine. I just have a medical stuff going on. But for right now, I'm fine. But for those of you who want to, I don't know how to put this. I'll put it this way, and then you guys decipher. For those of you that want to send good vibes to Camelot Horse Ranch, please do. And for those of you that want to send financial donations, please do to Camelot because we're all of us are grieving the loss of a huge, huge horse member of our family. And now you gotta understand, this horse got an infection. This horse was taken care of to the best of Camelot's abilities. And the infection got worse. This horse was recovering from surgery from that infection. And because your body is weak after fighting an infection slash after having anesthesia in you for so many hours. Um, and due to this horse's size, he was a Percheron slash Belgian cross. I knew about the Percheron and I didn't know about the Belgian cross until yesterday. But due to this horse's size, and for those of you that speak horse, you know Belgian crosses are huge, huge horses, and Percherons are huge, huge horses. And he was bigger than I was, and his little sister, I call her his little sister, who is my horse, Nutmeg, little sister, was smaller than he, smaller than he. So little sister had a pretty good time with him. I mean, they do at my writing program. They I'm going to ride next week. Yes, I'm gonna put reins in my hands, and yes, all is well with Walt. And the reason why they called me is so that, and the reason why they called people is so that people wouldn't be such in a state of shock when they go to mount horses next week and we're missing one of the horses. Um, and I believe Jim's, if I remember correctly, if I believe Jim's stall is semi right across from Nutmeg's. It's on the other side, but it's not Nutmeg's. It's not on the side of Nutmeg. Now, as a writer, I did ask this question of my writing establishment. And you guys, those of you who have horses, or those of you that are around horses, can ask questions of me and I'll get to, I'll get them to my writing lawn and my writing program. But I did ask this question, and so far so good, thank God, that the horses didn't see what went on. So number one, they weren't traumatized by it, and the horses didn't. All they saw was the trailer pulling up, which causes a little bit of excitement anyway, because horses know they're going somewhere or coming back, or something's coming back. So all they saw was the horses. All they saw was a trailer pulling up to take Jim to take Jim off. He was affectionately known to Jim, but his call name was K2. I don't know why they named him K2, but originally, but then someone renamed Jim because K2 is confusing. Um, and they just named him Jim, and that's what he stuck by. So the horses did see the trailer pull up and K2 load, but they didn't see what happened after that, thank God. And thank God that it wasn't my horse, because even though I ride once a week, and even though it's not my horse per se, it is, I'm still attached to her. So when Mary called me yesterday, the director of Camelot, she goes, "When, number one, it has nothing to do with people, and it has nothing to do with your sweet nutmeg." And because, and I knew it was Jim due to the size of him, and he came to me with angel wings on the night before. So I knew it was Jim due to the size of him. I don't know if we are going to get another driving horse. He is, he was fabulous on the saddle. I never had the privilege of riding him because I'm too short. I am too short. But now I'm happy to say that all the short horses are still alive. He, just because of his size, um, he did, unfortunately didn't make it. And even his trainer who helped train him goes celebrate him. So that's what we're all doing next week. And yeah, I'm concerned about, not only am I concerned about my horse, I'm also concerned about my riding buddy, because this is the horse that she primarily used, and I don't know that well, unfortunately, it put us in 2x2, in the two students, two horses, but unfortunately, I don't know her that well, so I'm just going to say I'm sorry for your loss. If I see her next week, and I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm here to support and just stand back. And quite frankly, I was in a state of shock. And when we, and Danielle knows this, we experienced a huge fire in Colorado, and of course, Danielle's horses had to be moved. And once my dad told me that it was now up in Missouri Heights, this huge fire that went on and on and on forever and a day, was up in Missouri Heights. My first question to Danielle, all the horses okay, because I know fires can spook horses. I know that anything could spook horses. So, and he, this horse, they're all trained to be steady eddies, but I'm coming to find out that and my horse Nutmeg and my dear beloved Jim, even though he was mine, um my dear beloved Jim was a super steady Eddie. I don't know why. I don't know why Jim and Nutmeg are super steady Eddies, but they are. And for those of you who do Stampede Course training, yeah, these guys are trained to be, all these guys are trained to be steady Eddies, but I don't know why that I got the I got the super steady Eddie, and the partner behind me got the extra special steady Eddie, and am I'm not only concerned about the people involved because it's a lot of volunteers. There's a couple instructors up there, but it's a lot of volunteers. So I'm not only concerned about the people involved. I am concerned about the horses involved. I'm also concerned about my riding buddy, but that's because I have a heart that wants to um give and give and give it and give until I fall over. Now I'm a lot better. Now I know what I can do and what I can't do. And so, for those of you who are the sending good vibes type, please do because this affects all of us. And classes will be, classes are still on for next week. Yes, I'm going out um, to the barn. Yes, yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's going to be a sense of peace. And thank God I have the super steady Eddie, as I said, Nutmeg, because all she wants to do at the end of the day is give snuggles and be the super steady Eddie. So I don't know how I got so lucky. I mean, there's a horse in there that will bang bang the stall if bang the stall if he doesn't get attention. Um Boosted bangs the stall if he doesn't get attention. And I don't know was Jim banging the stall last week and I was inside this other horse banging the stall, but all you could hear was and I was inside doing ground based lesson. All you could hear was this horse banging, and I mean banging the stall. Whereas Nutmeg is the quiet um horse, and Jim was, due to his size and due to his training, he was the super steady Eddie. Nutmeg is the next super steady Eddie, and all I said to Nutmeg was, "Who's my horse?" All I said was I gave a kiss at the end of last year. It would have been 2022, and I said, "Bye, Nutmeg. I'll see you in the new year." And I gave a kiss. And then I didn't have a chance to ride last week because all volunteers were out and it was still vacation for the for the volunteers. And but it will be interesting, and I will keep you guys updated. Of course, I will be wearing black. I will have my pink riding helmet on, and I will. It will be interesting how my study Eddie does, and I keep wanting to call him Peanut, but name is Nutmeg. I keep because she looks more like a peanut than she does a nutmeg, but she looks more like a peanut than she does a nutmeg. I mean, this horse is tiny compared to Jim, and so Jim is huge, and so if you eventually I will, when the shock was off, I will look to see if patrons have heart failure easily. But my it will be interesting to see if my study Eddie, granted I got the second study Eddie, I'm lucky, but it will be interesting to see if my study Eddie notices anything wrong, and that's the question I asked of my therapeutic writing center. I said, well, how many of the horses doing since loss? And they're doing okay. But the loss happened on Thursday night. So it's now coming up on Monday. So it will be interesting to see how my study Eddie does. Of course, I'll be study Eddie on her back because I will have a yoga right before I leave. So of course I'll be study Eddie on the back. I'm always study Eddie, and people are laughing at me because I go whoa nutmeg, and they're like, why did you go whoa nutmeg in the middle of the arena? And I'm like, because the saddle's falling off and I need to fix it. And how do you guys help me? And we can't have the saddle fall off. So again, I am possibly potentially getting a custom made saddle for me because I am on a Western saddle, and I don't like it because it slides around. So I'm potentially getting a custom saddle for Nutmeg and myself to make it easy. And so, yeah, but the life update and the life update will continue. This is a little shocking life update. And for those of you who around horses, go hug them, go hug them, because and I'm saying this to Danielle too, because horses need love as much as humans. And even though I want to ride Nutmeg next week, I am going to ride her. I'm also going to hug her because um horses need horses have a sense that another horse is gone, and that's why I asked that main question of what's happening to the other horses while they experience loss. And so I'm just going to ride and give Nutmeg snuggles. And if Nutmeg doesn't want to be my study Eddie next week, which hopefully she does, I will understand because horses are sentient beings. And to the person who taught me that, I appreciate that. She taught me language to be around horses, be calm, be cool, and collected, which I'll be calm, cool, and collected next week. But horses are sentient beings. They understand. They understand what's going on. I swear I was a horse in my first life. I swear I was a horse in my first life. I had more understanding of people than people think I do. So I swear I was a horse in my first life. But if the steady Eddie doesn't want to work and be steady Eddie, even though she's trained to be steady Eddie, I understand. And she just wants me, if she just wants to snuggle at the end of the lesson, I'll try and give her this snuggle. I'll try not to force, my body's gonna be nice and calm. I'll try, well, it has to be. It has to be anyway, but I'll try to keep it calm just just so that she has a easier time working next week just because of this loss. It affects humans, it affects the horses great greatly. So for those of you who nicely get to play around horses and own horses, go hug them. That's my PSA. Go hug your horses, and I will give you the next update once I have more information. And I maybe flat on my back. I don't know that yet, but once I have more information, I will give you the next update. And I don't think I plugged my headphone in. Yes, I did. I did I? It's see, that's where my brain's at. That's where my brain's at. Goofy
Ah,
me.
ah,
I can hear
yeah.
you now. I can hear you. Thank you for saying something.
Oh, ah, no.
Well, can't, you can't. Well, they're in my ears. But
Oh,
they're in my ears. You can't see them. They're in my ears. But and that's another issue. I have a dead ear pod that's been bowled over by a wheelchair and by a 500-pound wheelchair too. And so I have a lot of stuff going on. So if you don't hear from me, you don't hear from me. But I'm going to try to give you my own medical update next week, and then I'm going to also try to be as much as I can a steady Eddie for these horses next week. So yeah, that's what's happening in my life. And if you want to um, send a donation down to Camelot, you're all welcome to do it. Or if you just want to send horse love down to Camelot, which is a heck of a lot easier than sending a donation, you're more than welcome to do it. And yeah, I I think it's going to be a great significant loss. I know it is, but at the same time, it's going to be easier, the fact that I get to see my steady Eddie next week and nothing happened to her. Nothing happened to her. It was the other horse, but nothing happened to my steady Eddie. And she's gonna be strong for me. I'm gonna be strong for her. And of course, walking Tacit Guardian Angel Board wants to make me fly every single time. But I have to be strong for the humans. I have to be strong for the horses because it's no other. I can't think of another way to do it. And then I have to deal with something after with Grayson style, which I really don't want to deal with, but I have to deal with it. It's come up, and I have to face it head on. And I really don't want to deal with what is going on. And I really don't want to deal with my own medical update, but my own medical update will be okay. It will be okay. And so it will be okay. And I just have to confirm a couple of things. And I know something is wrong with my back, all my lungs. And so now we'll get to the bottom of it. So for those of you who are the sending of good vibes type, send the good vibes to all humans involved in me, and send the good vibes mentally that doctors can help me out. And if they can't, I know one thing, and I will say this: higher power can help me out, and we'll figure it out. And Windows a lot better with Eastern medicine than Western medicine, but sometimes Western medicine has come into play. And so, Danielle, I'm going to turn it over to you.
That you small, small, me, me, hard, you,
Yes, 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 yes. Please hug horses because, as they said to me yesterday, we don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. And the last moment I had with this big giant love bug. I've been talking about Gemma. I've been not talking about nutmeg. I am the last moments I had with this big giant love bug is the director was in the arena with me, and she was my stunt double. So that's the last moment I had with Jim, and I'll never forget that. And horses will teach you how to be grateful. They will also teach you how to be in the moment. And so I am gonna go hug my horse next week, and well, on Tuesday. Hug my horse on Tuesday. And if you guys want to send horsey vibes down, you're more than welcome to it. If you guys want to send donations down, it's on the front page of Camelot's website, and Danielle will stick it in the show notes. But please, please go ahead. Please go ahead and do whatever you want. Thanks to you guys. Bye, you guys.
Bye.